Now, if you've been smoking ribs for more than 5 minutes, you've no doubt heard the golden rule: you must peel the membrane off the back or your ribs are ruined. We've all been there, standing in the kitchen fighting with a slippery piece of paper towel, trying to yank off a stubborn layer of connective tissue while wondering if it's even worth the hassle. But is peeling actually mandatory, or is it just another ancient barbecue myth we've been blindly following without questioning the science? Today we're looking at what that membrane actually is, and whether peeling, scoring, or leaving it alone is the best plan for your next cook.
Welcome to Southfire Barbecue.
To figure out whether we really need to strip this layer off, we have to look at what it actually is. On the bone side of every rack of ribs sits a thin, translucent sheet. Scientifically speaking, it's a layer of dense connective tissue called the peritoneum. Its job in the animal was purely structural, holding everything in place. Now here's where the food science comes into play. Most of the connective tissue inside the meat is made of soft collagen. When you smoke ribs low and slow, that intramuscular collagen starts melting down into rich, tender gelatin around 160 to 180 degrees. That's what gives smoked meat that incredible, juicy mouthfeel. But the membrane on the back, that's a completely different monster. When ribs hit the smoker and reach that 160 to 180 internal mark, the collagen inside the meat breaks down into tender gelatin. But the membrane on the back, it's made of a tougher collagen that won't melt. It just shrinks and turns into paper. So what are the scientific arguments when it comes to peel versus score versus leave on? Well, let's start with peel it off. Some of the reasons to peel it off are rub adhesion and flavor. Salt molecules are small enough to pass through tissue, but larger spice molecules like paprika, black pepper, garlic powder, they can't penetrate the solid membrane. Leaving it on means seasonings sit on top of a barrier you might strip away at the table anyway. In addition, since rub adhesion on the membrane is very poor, you lose the opportunity to form a good, even bark on the underside. The next downside to leaving the membrane intact is the bite-through factor. In judges' boxes and in blind tasting panels like the KCBS, a tough membrane ruins the bite-through texture, leading to immediate disappointment and point deduction. Now let's talk about the advantages of scoring, or leaving the membrane on. First is structural integrity. Meat shrinks away from the bone as it cooks. On tender baby back ribs or high temperature cooks, removing the membrane can cause the rack to flop apart when handling or wrapping. And then we have the moisture debate. Some pitmasters swear keeping the membrane on locks in juices, while others argue it makes little to no difference. In reality, internal heat and evaporation dictate moisture loss, though the membrane can act as a light shield against direct heat bottom scorching. And then of course we have the crosshatch compromise. Scoring the membrane in a 1/2-inch diamond pattern severs the tight connective tissue. This helps prevent the rack from cupping and bowing as the tissue shrinks. However, the belief that it allows the rub to get to the meat is proven to be baseless. Very little, if any, rub actually gets through to the meat, at least not enough to be of any value. So what about spare ribs versus baby backs? Does the type of rib matter? Spare rib membranes are thicker, tougher, and leathery. Now I suggest you always peel those off. Leaving a spare rib membrane on creates a noticeably rubbery bite that ruins the meal for a lot of people. So just take it off. It's not a life or death decision. Now baby back membranes are much thinner, And quite often, meat packers inadvertently strip part of the membrane during the processing, or leave a paper-thin layer behind. Again, I suggest you peel it. Even though the membrane is less noticeable on baby backs, it can still be noticeable. So why risk spoiling your cook when preventing it is so easy? So as you can see, there's valid points on both sides, and I have no doubt this will forever be a 50-50 issue. But for what it's worth, I believe if you want the best bark, the best color, the best seasoning, the best bite, and the best flavor, peel it. Once you've done it a couple times, it's quick and easy. So why chance screwing up your barbecue when you can easily avoid it? So take a couple of extra minutes and peel that membrane before your next cook. You'll thank yourself later.
Thanks for stopping by. See y'all soon.